Hello, friends. This is Mac Payne, owner and operator of the Vietnam Veteran News Podcast, where we bring you news about the Vietnam War and the brave veterans who served there, as told to you by yours truly, a Vietnam veteran. In the short video, I come here to let you know I have just published another podcast episode. It's a good one. I am here to encourage you to go over and take a look at it. What it does, it helps prove a point I often make on the podcast, and that is the Vietnam veteran generation is as great as any that ever heeded the call of duty for my country. That's right. People need to know about it. One of the things I have done over the past few years is to encourage Vietnam veterans to write about their experiences in Vietnam and the things that they did and the thoughts they had and whatever. That helps people discover more about the Vietnam veteran generation and what they did for our country over there, what they went through, and why they should be appreciated for their service. Recently, I saw a story about a Vietnam veteran out in the great state of Iowa. His name is Steven Hyde, that must have been listening to me when I recommended Vietnam veterans write books about their time over there in country, because he recently wrote a book titled, now get this, Blood, Sweat, and Mothballs. I think Stephen may have a good sense of humor, but I've checked this book out and it's a good one. I highly encourage you to get a copy of it. But first, I highly encourage you to go over to the podcast and listen to Steve Hyde's story, not only about his book, but about his experiences in Vietnam. Another interesting fact that connects me to this story is that I don't know how he did this, but when he went over to Vietnam, he went on three R&Rs. He went to Bangkok, he went to Singapore, and he went to Sydney, Australia. Those are the same three places I went to when I was in Vietnam. Now, how he managed to go on three R&Rs in 1 year, you'll have to get the book to find out why. I have made it quite easy for you to go to the podcast and listen to the story of Vietnam veteran Steven Hyde. The first easy way is all you have to do is go down below this 1965 vintage Philco TV set and look for the link that will take you straight to the podcast website and episode. If you can't find that link for some reason, no worries. All you've got to do is go to, now listen carefully, VietnamVeteranNews.com. That'll take you straight to the podcast website, and you can easily find this podcast episode about Steve Hyde, number 3242, and you can begin listening immediately. But you might be a modern person who likes quick read codes, better known as QR codes. I made a QR code just for this podcast episode. All you've got to do is go to the QR code, point your camera on your cell phone toward that QR code, and you can be listening to the podcast in seconds. It's that easy. And the other thing is, it's all free. It doesn't cost you any money at all to listen to this podcast. So please do yourself a favor. Go over to the podcast website, VietnamVeteranNews.com, however fashion you choose. Listen to episode 3242 about Vietnam veteran Steve Hyde, his service in Vietnam, his new book, Blood, Sweat, and Mothballs, and also listen to what else he's done to serve his country over the last few decades. Steve Hyde is a great American, and he is a tremendous representative of the Vietnam veteran generation. So again, do yourself a favor. Go listen to that podcast episode. You'll be happy you did, and I'll be happy you did. While we're talking about making people happy, you can make me happy just by liking this video, and if you haven't already done so, subscribe to my channel. That would make this old Vietnam veteran very happy. So please do that. And with that, I say thank you for listening, and we'll talk soon.